We have a good group of Tier 2 winners here, and we'll go through these one by one because you think a lot of teams improve themselves. And here's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, everyone thinks they improved themselves in the draft every year. And it's like, well, that is true. Because you did add
new players.
Everyone
that you tactically picked.
In reality, every team is better after the draft than before the draft.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, everyone's a winner. We're like, well, yeah, actually, everyone is. But you think some of these teams really stand out. Not quite as good as those 5 that you just mentioned. But the Denver Broncos, let's start there.
Yeah.
Buffa Chip says, if you count Russell Wilson as Denver's number 1 pick, the Broncos won this draft hands down.
Well, I mean, you got to take that into account to a degree. I mean, I take into account when I think about what they've done overall, for the offseason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've made huge moves that way. But then, okay, wait, Denver, we got, some stand-up linebacker pass rush needs. Oh, the guy Nick Bonito, Edge, Oklahoma, is a guy I talked about. He was one of my top 5 linebackers where he has Micah Parsons' ability. That's what he is.
You were justified in your ranking of him, I think, with that pick right there.
Thank you very much.
A team that knows defensive ends that took him fairly high in this draft.
Thanks. Yeah, he's one of the most natural pass rushers in the draft. They lose Noah Fant because of the trade, right, with Russell Wilson. Fant goes up to Seattle. Dulcich from UCLA, you could argue he's the best pass-catching tight end in the draft. He's a real weapon. 6'5", can really run. Damari Mathis, 4-3 corner from Pittsburgh. Doesn't play like 4-3, but still fast, good, adds depth to the position, going to be playing there for a while. And then Uwazurike from Iowa State. I love Uwazurike. I mean, if you told me he would have gotten picked 45, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, I get it. I mean, he's, to me, was one of the best pure interior D linemen in the whole draft. And then for a team like them that's got, E.J. Evero, who's their new D coordinator. He's got the Brandon Staley, Wade Phillips background. They needed a guy like this. You hear me say it all the time. These 2-gap guys. They need their Akeem Hicks. Their guy that can make a muck of things and read the play and disengage and do all that, and he's perfect for that.
Yeah, that's a solid group of players.
Very solid.
I am really interested to see what Russell Wilson does there. And they've already had, they talk about playmakers on offense. You got some guys and some receivers that can definitely separate.
No doubt about it.
Play the game well.
They got it all.
I'm curious to see how big of a jump, because I had them as a playoff team last year.
Yeah.
And it was looking good at times.
Right.
Until it wasn't.
Well, they got all the pieces. You weren't wrong last year. You were just expecting maybe a little more consistent quarterback play, which was an issue there too.
Maybe they'll get it this year. So the Broncos, a good draft in your mind. Also, the team that we started this whole podcast talking about, the Green Bay Packers. It took a little while. It didn't get their receiver in the first round, where everyone's like, they got 2 picks in the first round. They'll definitely take a receiver with one of those 2 picks. And that did not happen. It took Quay Walker and Devonte Wyatt, both out of Georgia, right? 2 Georgia defensive guys. It took the second round in that trade up, like you mentioned off the top, for Christian Watson. Near Magar 23 says, does Christian Watson really compare to MVS, or does he have other traits that made you consider him second wide receiver in your top 5? So how much does he change this Packer offense potentially?
Yeah, well, he to me is on another level than MVS. Just to make our Packers fan, this is a guy that I wouldn't even say they were in the same class coming out of college. This guy has got real physicality to his game. They put him at tailback and gave him the ball. Like, here, you're the most explosive guy on our team. Now just run with the ball. He will run people over. And his MVS, as fast as he is, it's a different kind of explosiveness. There's more strength involved here. It's a little bit of a bigger human altogether. And there's just a physicality element to where MVS, didn't bring that. This is a guy that can catch a slant and break a tackle and then outrun people for a touchdown. So that's where I think it's pretty damn special. I love the pick. It just to me, it was like, if he ends up there or with the Chiefs, watch out. Like, it's going to be the perfect combination. And he landed up at one of the 2 spots.
The only one thing that I think about him is that, we looked at the history with Aaron Rodgers and rookie wide receiver. He's hard on him, right?
I know.
It's like you almost got to come in ready to go. If you he's raw, right? He might need some time. He was at North Dakota State. It's like, what if he comes into training camp and Aaron Rodgers just doesn't trust him from the get-go?
Yeah, they're going to have to find the right role and where that is, right? They're going to have to do that. That's not going to be easy. Lazard, Sammy Watkins, I'm sure he'll lean on them, heavy early on. But, yeah, that's what training camp and OTAs is going to be about. It's like, okay, now how refined is he? Can I trust him to run this route the right way all the time? Does he read the coverage the right way at the same time? So, like, if we have a double route on where if it's two safeties, you run the middle of the post. If it's a single safety, we want you to run an in cut and change your route. Can they trust them there? That's what they'll have to find out. Either way, he's going to scare people shitless. Well, if they just use him in a way to where hey, he's scary, he's dangerous, we can send him deep and be that guy, there's value in that to open up the rest of the stuff in the offense. But here's where I want to push back I've been hard on Gutekunst for a few years here. I mean, of course, I was not a fan of Jordan Love and that whole trade and all that stuff. But those first 2 picks in the first round were f***ing amazing. Amazing. I mean, I know they didn't get the receiver. They got unlucky. I mean, we just talked about it. 6 of them went in the top 20. I don't think they were expecting that.
And their first pick was 22.
Right. So they
traded up.
They got
trade
left
up for
out.
That or no? That was where they were picking.
Yeah, that was where they were picking, right?
22.
They were, right. Because the Chiefs traded in front of them to get Trent McDuffie. They need a middle linebacker, Quay Walker. I mean, he's built just like Devondre Campbell. I love him. Love him. And then Devonte Wyatt was one of the top 10 players on most teams' board. I did not realize he had maybe so many extensive off-the-field issues there. He'd been in trouble a few times. But that, and then even after those, so we hit the first 3 picks. Then I don't know if I'm saying this kid's name the right way. Sean Ryan from the UCLA offensive lineman, he's a good player. He is. He was like, he'd be the next group of guys, like after we just talked about,
Cole Strange
and Cam Jurgen and the center from Kentucky. I mean, he was the next group up of guys where you go, that's the next lineman guys to go off the board. So I love that pick too, and there's a need there to add a little depth to their own line.
Packers got one of the wide receivers that you were higher on than most in Christian Watson. The Colts got a receiver that you were definitely higher on than most, even though you tried to move him down your rankings as the draft got closer. Alec Pierce was the first pick by the Indianapolis Colts, giving Matt Ryan another weapon. Start right there, real quick. I mean, because Alec Pierce
was happy.
He was a player that I think a lot of people that maybe don't follow you once you threw that out there, that he was one of the better wide receivers in the draft.
Right?
We're like, "What? You're crazy! This guy, he might not even get drafted." Well, not only did he get drafted, he was taken pick 53 overall in the second round.
Yeah. No, I was proud of that. And I'm proud that a guy like Chris Ballard, who I have a lot of respect for in his eye for talent, he took him. It makes me feel good. It's like when the Steelers take a receiver that you like, because you go, man, they have an eye for receivers.
Yeah.
And there's maybe they might prove me right. Guys got big time potential and talent. There's a lot of good receivers in this class. I might have got a little carried away at first, but I think this is realistically like every bit is where he should be. He can be one of these guys like Watson, where like DK and A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuel, where we go, why the did they wait in the second round? Wait, these guys are big, fast, and freaky, but they went with a route runner for 7 yards instead. Like, that's, I like to make fun of that.
Yeah.
But these could be the 2 guys that end up being the stars of the draft. I would not be shocked about that. But then get a freaking nature tight end, Jelani Woods. I mean, huge target. So they got something there with Matt Ryan, who knows how to place a ball, knows how to throw to big receivers like Kyle Pitts or Julio Jones. And now he's got Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, and Jelani Woods, who's like Gronk running down the field in the past game. That was a hell of a pick. And then got my tackle Bernard Raymond in the third round, which I'm shocked that he fell that far. I don't know what happened there. I want to dig in on that if there's something that maybe I missed, because I really liked him and thought he was a first rounder. And then Nick Cross, the safety from Maryland. They have a need at safety. Cross is a freak of nature athlete, right? A little raw, a little out of control, flies around, but like one of the best pure specimens in the whole draft. So from that standpoint and those picks right there, I love what the Colts did.
Paul Good says, as a Colts fan, I think the Jets won the draft, but I'm curious why you think that Chris Ballard doesn't get more love. Clearly one of the best GMs in the league and smashed the draft once again. I think he probably does get enough love by the fact that I know his name. I don't know I don't know that I know every one of the GM's names, but Chris Ballard, I know his name.
He just said they just got to be in the playoffs and make a run, and then everybody. I think to his point, we'd all know it a little bit more. That's why we know Veach and those guys. It's just, hey, Chris Ballard got the unluckiest thing in the history of GMs happened to him.
What was that?
Andrew Luck quit.
Yeah.
That is like a game changer. Wait, I took the job because I didn't think I was going to have to worry about this position for 10 years because this guy's awesome.
And now it's the only thing I worry about.
And now it's the only thing I could deal with for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. And it was during preseason.
Yeah.
So it was at the worst possible time.
So then you got Jacoby Brissett, you got Phillip Rivers, you got Carson Wentz.
Right. Now they're on the Matt Ryan.
Yes. I mean, give him credit. Those are names where it's like he hasn't settled for like 4 years of some
he'll
middling
keep taking
quarterback.
his cuts for sure. Exactly right. Ballard's definitely one of the best GMs in football. And guess where? He's from Kansas City with that whole crew, like Veach. Shocker. He's got a plan. He's not afraid to be aggressive and do what he's got to do.
Had one of the better drafts. Your next team that also had a Tier 2 draft.
Yep.
I'm a little bit surprised because I think some people are down on them for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Well, let's talk about the ledge.
The Jaguars. They took Trayvon Walker, number 1. I think even though there's a lot of love for him out there, I think there are people that think like it was a reach. Like this guy came out of nowhere. He just tested great at the combine. You've talked about that before. But you actually like what the Jaguars did here in this draft.
I do. I like what they did in the draft, and I'm not mad at the first pick. Would I have taken Aiden Hutchinson? Yes. But like you and I were talking about this in the barn, right, when we were watching the draft on Thursday night. You know, at the very least, you got a big stud on your D-line. Oh, all right, maybe he doesn't live up to number 1 billing. He's your starting defense end for 8 years. Like, and then some. Beyond. Like his lowest of his low is like better than just starting on your defense end. He's a freak of nature. He has a higher ceiling than Aiden Hutchinson. And to what we discussed in the barn, I almost want to get up and show people on YouTube a little bit like, you don't understand. He was played in a style of defense and then what they asked him to do that was absolutely, like if you literally said, how's the worst way we could suppress Trayvon Walker's talent? You'd go, let's play him like Georgia did, and then nobody will see it.
He was basically asked to stalemate the offensive line.
Exactly. Right. Like, let's stand up. Let's show. You want to show the people on YouTube?
We're not mic'd up.
We don't have a mic. All right. I was going to hold the mic. I thought it was over. But, like...
You actually
took a video?
Yeah. Pete, while you were doing this to me in the barn...
I didn't know you tweeted the video of this. I did not know this. I missed this. So
yeah, it was the tail end of the demonstration.
But to your point, yes, you explained it right. He was asked to hold up the tackle, read the play. You know, they're very intricate. They're really well coached. But he never got to just go, if they did like, hey, line up outside, put your hand on the ground, don't worry about reading anything. Just where you see the ball, go 6 yards behind it and try to kill the guy with the ball that's got it there. Mm-hmm. If they did that, and people don't think he can't go, let me put my foot in the ground, and now let me use my 4.5 speed with my unbelievable get-off and my insane strength, and don't think he can be a force that way, that's insane. He didn't climb up the boards this far because most of the league was like, this is crazy. He's stupid. He can't play. Jacksonville just seeing something. No, everybody saw this. He is top 4 player on every board in the NFL. Every board.
If he doesn't go number 1, he goes number 2.
He goes number 2. Right. And if he doesn't go, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Look at this. I didn't know you guys were filming this.
Yeah.
I missed this.
Yeah,
right? So you're playing tackle.
That's where you were telling me, that's where he would just go. If they tell him to go, that was
right.
it. They didn't get the part.
I did run into you a little bit.
He manhandled me.
I did. I manhandled you.
It was like, I was like, is this what it's?
Oh, I didn't want to embarrass you. Right. But that's where it becomes a different game.
Like?
Right. Instead of being me head up on you, which is he has to do. He has a lot of times asked to be head up on you. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, he doesn't get to use his speed or get the edge ever or any of that. So that was a great pick. Devin Lloyd trading up into the first round. Again, we talk about Nick Bonito out of Oklahoma that the Denver Broncos took.
Yep.
Here's a guy that's like, again, had the rare Michael Parsons thing where middle linebacker extraordinaire. But like when he played defense end, you were like, oh, I would rank him in my defense end rankings if we put him there too. So that's a special. Fordner, lineman, I talked about him, the center from Kentucky. Definitely that tier 2 lineman, second, third round guys. Great pick. Chad Muma from Wyoming, incredibly athletic linebacker, can play. I mean, I wish it was, he's still new to the position. He's a little raw, but the size, the speed, it's real. So, that from that standpoint right there, I love what they did. Again, I don't know some of these 6 and 7 round guys. I went over them quick, so I can't tell you about Monteric Brown from cornerback from Arkansas. I didn't study him too hard, but I can tell you that their first 4 picks were impressive.
Do this. Go home tonight.
Yeah.
Take a look at Monteric Brown, and then come back with your analysis of him.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some people that thought the Jaguars lost the draft, maybe right away when.
But
they
is
took
it just because
Walker,
of that?
number 1, maybe. And there were some people that thought the Titans lost the draft immediately when they traded A.J. Brown.
Right.
Well, they just made their team worse, regardless of who they take here. Noah Dunlap says, aside from the Brown trade, I like the Titans draft. So he said, aside from that, how do you think a team like the Titans can manage throughout the season without much talent in the wide receiver room? They did take Treylon Burks out of Arkansas with an 18th overall pick. But yeah, they're going to go through a season now without Julio, who hasn't been what he was for a while now. But
right.
Wait, where's Julio?
Julio's nowhere right now, I don't think.
Oh, that's
he's
crazy.
a free agent. So he's one of those guys where you can go, will Baltimore sign him? You know
That's
what I mean? What I'm talking about? That's that's the kind of guy that I think they're going to start to look at. They're going to go, we'll draft a guy every now and then. We'll look for a free agent. It's kind of like Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
Right. Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Right. That's what they're going to do.
But no Julio, no A.J. Brown in Tennessee land for Ryan Tannehill.
No. That's a big move. All right. John Robinson, not shocked to see him make this type of move. Right. We talked about this a little bit with some of the stuff. I know I've talked about it with Florio a little bit. I know there's GMs in football that are like, I'm never going to pay $25 or $28 million a year for a receiver. Never. It's just not going to happen. They think, like we talked about at the start of the show, I'll just replenish them and draft one every 2 or 3 years, and I'll get one in the middle round in another year, and we'll sign to Robert Woods every now and then, and I'll be fine. I'm not gonna have to I'm never gonna pay $30 million. I'm not shocked to see John Robinson from New England take that type of approach. Definitely not. That A.J. Brown. Here's another little inkling that people don't. A.J. Brown had 2 knee surgeries, a knee surgery on both. So maybe they look at that too and just go, meh, we're not sold. It's going to last forever here. The wheels might come off 2 or 3 years down the road.
If the Eagles made the trade and evaluated it, that A.J. Brown was going to play 17 games a year, they probably lost the trade, right? If they looked at it and they was like, what's fair value for an A.J. Brown who's going to play 13, 14 games a year? Maybe it's fair there because that's about what you can expect at this point, right?
Maybe. It's definitely out there. I mean, it's definitely there to see and go, he's physical and he's had a few issues already, and that would scare you. So maybe that's where John Robinson said, I'm cutting the cord. I'll see you later. I'm getting out of it. But Burks, similar-ish to A.J. Brown. Again, I don't know if he's quite the route runner A.J. Brown was, but this is a guy who's a weapon when the ball in his hands. We were watching the highlights that night. Mm-hmm. It's impressive. It is. And I think with their run game and the way they play, they'll have ways to kind of get him the ball and make him a weapon. So that's great. Love Roger McCreary. Love him. And Auburn corner. Right. Like, has everything you want as a corner. Just wish he was a smidgen faster. But, like, as far as feet and hips and all of that stuff, maybe some of the best in the draft. I just wish he was a little bit more explosive. The Petit Frere, I'm not sure how to say that. Ferrer.
Yeah, that was the
Ohio
comedian.
State.
That was the comedian that went up there and picked that guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that guy?
Yes. He's a big, long, good athlete who definitely has potential to be your starting tackle in the NFL. And then to get Malik Willis.
So Steve Quantock says, Hi, Chris. Sent a tweet to your dad earlier asking for his take on the Titans taking Malik Willis in this draft. I live in Blightly and don't watch college football. A penny for your thoughts.
Well, listen,
so your dad didn't get back to him apparently.
Apparently not. What a jerk.
So it's like, all right, I guess I'll get Chris's
What a jerk
opinion.
that guy.
All right, so what would your dad say about it?
Well, I think my dad I think he saw Malik Willis the same way I did. There's a lot there to like. There definitely is.
But you like Ryan Tannehill also,
I do like Ryan Tannehill. I think, it's coming. Let's see. Tannehill, I think, has 1, maybe 2 years left on his deal, probably to where they can probably get out of it this year, right? He didn't play as good last year as he has the years before. And then, of course, he left a really bad taste in all our mouth in the divisional playoff game. So that hurts him. This guy fits it. You don't know how much longer Tannehill's going to be there. Here's a guy that we've all said, like, he's going to need a year, maybe 2. So Tannehill's a year left, maybe 2 there. He's probably going to have to play really good to keep his job and do all of that. Mm-hmm. So, and then I just look at the way they play football and go, well, yeah, he's got a lot of Ryan Tannehill-ish qualities. Tannehill's got a good arm, pushes it down the field. We've talked about this a lot of the last 2 years, right? How good of a deep ball thrower he is and all that. Malik Willis is made for that. Everybody's downfield. Ryan Tannehill ran for 8 yards. Malik Willis is going to be able to do all that stuff too. It's a deadly combination with Derrick Henry and the way they want to run the football. So I think it's a great spot for him. It's like a spot for Malik Willis where, we don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about getting in there right now. It's an offense that we like the way you play, and you're going to like the way we play. And then you got a quarterback in front of you who's good and got some talent, but he's not necessarily set in stone here forever. So you got a chance. Keep working, kid.
Kyle Shanahan tried to do this at the beginning of last year. Remember that, where he tried to have a package of plays for Trey Lance and then also for Jimmy Garoppolo. And in theory, it's like, I like that idea, right? It seems like you have Malik Willis, a guy who has talent. Like, why waste it and not play him a whole year, right? It just doesn't seem to work out. Maybe a team can figure it out. Maybe they will try it. Maybe they won't even try it.
I'm sure they'll probably try it too. But you're right. It never is as good as we say it is.
Yeah.
Never is. Because then what happens is they go, well, they let Trey Lance throw the ball in 3rd and 2, and he hasn't thrown a pass all game. And they took the guy out who's 7 for 7. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
Or it's like, he had a good run, but then, he hasn't played in a while, and damn, he fumbled on this one. And it's just, you're always second guessed with those kind of decisions, I guess.
Because you bring in Malik Willis as your quote unquote running, if you wanted to do that, as your running quarterback. Right. It's like, he's coming in to run, and then the other team knows that, I guess he's coming in to run. We don't have to worry about the pass. And like you mentioned, then you pass.
Then you pass. Everyone goes, he's not here to pass. He's unpolished. You told me he needs work. So that's where it is. It's a little weird that way. It definitely is. Also, one more pick by them.
Yes.
The tight end from Maryland. They got an eye for tight ends. Robinson was up there in New England. Even the tight ends they've had there the last few years, they've been pretty damn good. They lost their last tight end to the Patriots, right? In free agency. The Chigozium Okonkwo from Maryland. Fits the Maryland mold. Maryland every year has 5 or 6 guys that I just go, do they find the most physically freaky guys, and they're raw as hell? But man, he could be something. He could be that guy where you just go, a few years from now, we go, this is one of the best pass receiving tight ends in all of football. He's got that kind of like physical talent.
There's one other team that you thought was a Tier 2 good draft.
Tier 2.
Then we'll talk about some other teams that have a lot of interest out there and see what you thought of some of the things they did. But the last team that you thought had a really good draft, not in Tier 1 but in Tier 2, was the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going to give the Washington Commanders some love here.
Because I don't even think that you really liked their number 1 pick.
Nope, I don't love
Jahan Dotson.
You're right. Not my favorite.
You don't mind the player. It was higher.
Higher for me.
Too rich for your blood.
Right.
I liked the guy. He was my favorite.
Yeah, he was. You loved him.
I
know there's a lot of people in the NFL that did.
Who knows if it'll translate? But despite being a little down on their first pick, you thought they did well.
Yes, they have a need there. I'm not going to be mad at you for believing in a guy again. Yeah, do I think it's a little high for me? But I liked him. He was right outside of my top 5.
There was a run on wide receivers.
Right? I know, as we talked about, I think teams saw the top 5 receivers a lot of different ways this year. I had some friends that definitely thought he was one of the 5 best. Right? So, they got him. There was need there. And then you add the Fidarian Mathis. Are they capable of drafting D tackles outside the school of Alabama there or what? It's crazy. They got 3 defensive tackles from Alabama on their team now. But he's a really good player. He was just on the edge. He was a guy that was in my top 5 D tackle conversation. Big, not like great value in the pass game, but he's your Alabama type guy. He's going to be big and physical and hold his ground and move some people in the run game and all of that. Robinson, I like Brian Robinson.
Running back, Alabama.
Right. A lot like Najee Harris. In fact, I didn't think there was a whole lot of a difference, really. honestly, except just a bunch of hype and talk around it. But, man, Robinson, his ability to run, weave through traffic, shoulders square, follow, set up blockers the right way was really good. And then I love Percy Butler, the safety from Louisiana.
You tweeted about him, too.
Yes. I was Friday night, sitting by the fire, having a drink, trying to keep up with social media, and I was going, oh my gosh! Not only do they need a safety numbers-wise, they need a guy on the field that can help their football team. Butler, to me, is in the conversation for the best pass coverage safety in the draft.
So, Pete, do we have that tweet? Do we have that on a graphic here? Because Chris tweeted about Percy Butler and said tremendous range in center field, and this guy Tom 30 said cool about that, quoted you and said cool. You also said he is very good in all areas of coverage. He said sweet. And then you also said let alone he has 3 rockets up his butt. And Tom O goes he has 3. Well, he said tickets, but he meant rockets up his butt.
It changed the word on him, right? I mean, he probably wrote rockets and then he tried to write rockets and he misspelled and it wrote tickets.
But he was alarmed. He was alarmed with that. He must not be a fan of the pod.
HM. What's that mean?
I don't think he knows what 3 rockets up his butt means. He might almost think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
right.
Come on, Tom 30.
No, in his defense, in reality, if a rocket went up your butt, that would be bad.
Right.
And if 3 happened, that would be terrible.
Yeah, well, that would be somebody that is maybe taking it a little too literal. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just kind of figure that out. And of course, if you listen to me a little bit, Tom Moore, you don't understand what 2 and 3 rockets up your ass means.
Yeah.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Yes, but yes, I love this kid. He was one of my man crushes in the draft. Now, you heard, even if you watch the draft page, he's amazing on special teams. Why? Not because he's not afraid to tackle, this kid. So this is a speed, awesome safety. He comes down and brings it. Now, he comes down at such fast and furious at times. He misses tackles and to do that. But it's not because he's soft or doesn't want to hit you. So that's where I really liked it. I really did. I think it's a great pick by them. He has such good coverage skills that if you had a corner hurt in a game, you'd go, we can put him at corner, and he'll be okay today. That's what kind of player we're talking about there.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.